How's it going, everyone? A couple days ago on my Instagram, I asked you all to submit me some questions to ask me for a Q&A video like this. So today I'm going to be answering some of them. Unfortunately, I just got a lot of questions back, so I'm only going to be sifting through some of them. I'm not going to be able to get to all of them. So if I didn't get to your question, please just DM me directly on Instagram and I'll try to get back to you. And some of these I'll group together because they're very similar in nature. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I'm looking forward to answering some of your questions. First question, what's your favorite engine? Mine would be B284, mostly because of the power that they can handle and just the torque that they provide, as opposed to all the other 4-cylinder Saab engines. Now I know it's not a true Saab engine, but the B284 is by far my favorite. Next, have you considered a career in the automotive field? Yes, I briefly did at one point, but by the time I had done that, I was about 2/3 of the way done with school, and as I thought about it more and as I continue to think about it today as an option, I don't like to, I enjoy working on my cars, but it's not something that I would enjoy making a career out of. Like, I even get frustrated with my own cars, but I couldn't work on other people's cars as a career. It would just be too much working on cars, and I wouldn't like it. So it's a very good question though. I really appreciate it, so thank you for that. A couple questions here relating to the Turbo X and future plans with that. Right now I have no future plans in terms of modifications, mostly because it needs work. So hopefully I'll have videos coming out at some point on that, but right now you might be able to tell I'm sitting in the 9.5. The 9.5 is the first priority. The Turbo X, not being a daily driver sort of car, is probably going to be last on the list. I do have a couple little things I want to do in the ARC. So this question is kind of taking a tangent, but I want to provide some context for my answer. So right now, no mods planned, but there will be some work coming, and after that work's completed, hopefully some more mods. So you'll see that in the future, hopefully sometime relatively soon. What would be the coolest non-Saab motor to swap in a Saab, not an LS? This is a very good question, and one that I still do not have a good answer for. So if we're not talking LS, off the top of my head, I can't think of anything crazy good that I would do. I'm just thinking in the realm of like crate motors now, and I'm thinking a Hellcat would be cool. I know that's similar to an LS. I'm struggling to come up with something that's like really different and cool. So I apologize for that, but that's, again, a very good question because I'm clearly getting stumped trying to answer it. Next up, what's the best tuning kits / companies? I really need to make a video discussing all of this because this is a question I get asked a ton. My go-to is always MapTune. I think MapTune is a great option for something that's not going to push your car super hard. V-Tuner is another great option I've heard of. I know there's a ton of different options out there, and I could go down a rabbit hole and talk about this for 15-20 minutes, but I'm not. So there are a lot of options out there. I'd recommend joining the Saab Tuner Performance Facebook group. I think that's what it's called on Facebook, because that's a group that's specialized specifically in aftermarket support for Saabs. Any thoughts of getting or reviewing a Volvo? I've reviewed a Volvo. I've reviewed an S60R. You can check that out in the top corner. But outside of that, I haven't. I would love to get a new S60 someday. I just think they're extremely beautiful cars, and I like the new Recharge or the Polestar. I think those are both really cool options. Kind of going along with that, if you could not have a Saab, what car would you have? I think my first choice would be a Volvo S60. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. Would you ever buy another car from the East Coast? Probably not, because I would just wait and be patient to find something that's closer on the West Coast so that I could get and drive back, or would be cheaper to ship back. But you never know. If the opportunity presents itself, maybe. What's your favorite emblem that Saab has ever used? I'm going to have to do some research on that, and I will put my choice up on the screen right here. Are there any TID Saabs in America? There's one that I know of, and that's because it was imported, but they were never sold here. What will be your next project car after the 9.5? Right now, I can't focus too much on that because I just want to get my current cars running right and good. But I'm thinking either something like a Vigan or a 900 or maybe a 2-stroke. Those are really my top 3 options for Saab project cars, but then I also have to think about possibly getting something not Saab that would be newer as like a new daily driver. So I don't really know. That's a good question though. So the next question, there's actually 3 of them that came up. they're just all pretty much asking why you chose Saab, what made you pick Saab, blah, blah, blah. My answer to that would be, this is a question that comes up quite frequently. It seems to come up in every Q&A I do. My answer to that would be, I chose it because, well, one, my dad and mom have owned them since before I was born, so I naturally kind of picked it. But I really like them just because they're different, they're unique cars, and they're different, they're unique, and I like driving something different. I don't like driving something that's run-of-the-mill like a Honda or a Toyota or even something like a BMW. You know, I like to drive something that's different and more unique, something that you don't see a lot of. Next, ever considered owning an NG facelift convertible? Yes, I would love to own a convertible 9.3 someday, or just a convertible Saab in general. Just, you know, it'd be nice to have something that I can drop the top on when the weather's nice. So eventually, maybe, you know, I'd like to get one at some point, but we'll see. So a couple EV related questions here. The first one being, what's your opinion on electric? The Swedes are making some nice looking ones. I'd have to agree with you. I love the new Polestars. I'd hope to get one someday, but we'll have to see. That kind of goes along with the whole Volvo S60 thing, I suppose. But I like Volvo, or I like electric cars, period. I think they're the future, and, you know, unfortunately we don't get to hear the, you know, the noise from, I don't know if you could even hear that. This is my stock exhaust 9.5 here, so out of all the cars I chose to rev in, you know, that this is probably the worst one. But I would like to get an electric car someday. I think they're cool. And the next, going on that, the next question asks, would you get a Chinese electric Saab? And, you know, I'm sure, unfortunately, you personally do not know that by now, but the whole NEVs 9.3 thing is kind of dead. I'll link a video talking about NEVs kind of killing that whole idea in the top corner, but that's been dead for quite a while now. What do you think about Saab reliability? I have a video discussing 9.3 reliability up here in the top corner. You can watch that. Photo shoot at next year's SOC. I would love to do that. Unfortunately, I couldn't bring a Saab to the last SOC because it was all the way in New York. But it kind of sucks seeing all these Saabers take pictures of their cars together, and I wasn't able to join in on that. So next year, for sure, in Sturgis. Who's your favorite Cali Mustang driver? Definitely you, JP. I'll put your Instagram on the screen here. He's been a friend for years, so I feel the least I can do is shout him out. You guys got to get him to 1,000 subscribers. That's been his goal for a long time. How much power can stock pistons handle on 0693 Aero? Any B284 can handle a ton of power. There's a bunch of guys out there making 500-600 wheel horsepower easily on their stock 2.8, so use that as an initial goal. And finally, is buying a Tech 2 worth it? If so, should I get a clone or a real one? I would highly recommend getting a clone if you're going to get one, and they are worth it if you plan on staying in the Saab game for some time. But definitely get a clone. I bought mine on AliExpress, and it's been great ever since I bought it. But yeah, with that being said, guys, I think that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already. Check out my Patreon, which will be linked at the top of the description. With that being said, that's all I've got for today, and I'll see you all next time.